Well, I think the one thing that has definitely changed over the years is the students. So students are
Mm.
now coming to class. They're far more educated than they have been before in the past. With the age of technology, we've got Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, the World Wide Web. People are going out there and they're researching the classes before they take them. I've had students show up to class who've had never had any formal training, and it looks like they've been to 10 courses or more, and you ask them, hey, what are what are you doing? And they're like, oh, I put the old Magpul videos on, and I watched them over and over again. And I went to the range and I practiced them. And then eventually I just took my computer to the range and started doing the same thing, that, these guys were doing. And, granted that may, some people would argue and maybe say that wasn't the best learning tool or technique, but for the time, at the time it was,
Mhm.
now people can do the same thing with a lot of these other instructors that have put their products on DVDs and stuff like that, or just even on YouTube, and they can go out there on their phone and they can watch a technique and they can try and do it. And then the other thing is a lot of folks, they're videoing themselves, which is a
Mhm.
key component of learning, right? Is seeing yourself, because you can't see your own errors 9 times out of 10. And so
Mhm.
they're videoing themselves and they're critiquing themselves next to maybe a world-class shooter or something to that nature. So I think that's another thing, is the average student is in general more advanced than they have been ever before. And
That's encouraging.
yeah, but at the same time, we still have those individuals who were never interested in the guns. They were never interested in self-defense. And then click, something happens, usually a violent, they were victims of a violent circumstance. And now they want to learn about guns. And so those
Mhm.
people, when they come to the range, are your typical, or what used to be the typical student. And now you have to realize that, hey, the same teaching technique that you may use for this other student is probably not going to work for this new student
Yeah,
who is.
that requires a very adaptable, in tune instructor, so I'd say the development of instructors is more important now than ever before, given what you've just said.
Yeah. And the other thing is, so, I have some instructors that have come and work for us, and they're young, and, they're just constantly, on several different, their computer, their Instagram, all at the same time, and they're doing something. And so their learning curve is faster. And they
Mm,
think that a lot of times that some of their students are going to be that way. And it's like, whoa, you have to give and take. You can't treat all students the same, and
right.
those are some areas where I see and some folks who just are going too fast or outrunning their headlights as instructors,
Mhm.
but students have, you have to sit there and take, and realize, if you keep telling them this, the same thing over and over again, and they continue to make the same mistakes over and over again, obviously
That's
you're
not
doing something wrong. We,
yeah.
we need to
Mhm.
isolate and figure out what the problem is, or move on to the next step until we can come back and circle back and then pull them offline or something to that nature. But yeah, there's definitely a much more educated student base that we've ever seen before. And at the same time, the instructor levels have just gone through the roof. Now you have more and more people out there running instructor development courses at higher levels. You have instructors who are actually out there getting better training themselves. And so I think now more so than ever, we have a ton and ton of instructors to choose and pick from. And, in the past, there was maybe a handful of instructors out there that were even doing this. And of that
Mhm.
handful, there was even a smaller number who people would say, well, I would recommend them, but
Mhm.
now there's just so many people out there teaching that are, they're just very competent instructors out there.